All right. All right, guys. So I don't know exactly how much we recorded before this meeting. The phone kind of cut off. But we're at this meetup.com meeting, and you just sign up on the website, right? And then there's like freaking tons of meetings. So like whatever you're interested in. I just went to like some stock meeting, right? They were talking about investment research. We looked at analysis, and it was like overall investing. And it was really cool, right? Because like you get to be in a community of people, who are in the same space as you and who are doing the same things as you. So like no matter where you are, maybe if you're working in like a specialized niche, you can find something near where you live where all of a sudden you've got a community to turn to, look for insights, opinions, and then also like backing yourself up. And it's really cool. Like they do a meeting a month, something like that, and you meet some really cool guys. I remember like 3-4 guys. They were all personally at a deep level. There's probably maybe like 30 people there. So you can learn and you contribute, obviously like there's really good opportunities to contribute to the like conversation. We did a lot of like fundamental learning, just value investing, really cool stuff. And you can expand, maybe it's not investing, but whatever it is you're interested in, right? You can expand your viewpoints and build local relationships in just like local meetup groups, right? And even it's like a 2-hour meeting. It's gonna be like an hour drive from where I live, but it's like you learn so much, and then you get these valuable relationships, and you can use those to grow into either your personal space, your business space, with either new clients, or also at the same time just expanding your personality and your mindset with to the extent of like how you look at development, and then also maybe people who aren't or you're learning about the field, so that those individuals can show you the needs of the marketplace, maybe for people who want to learn about whatever it is you're really good at now. And then you get that new perspective where you can now better serve those people because you're looking and you understand what their needs are. So maybe when you're copywriting or whatever it is that you're doing to distribute information or market your products and services, to be able to go into the marketplace and know exactly what people are looking for is just a stellar opportunity and growth investment in yourself. And you really get that by going to maybe a local meetup where you've got so many different people. And I think the leader of the group was probably one of the most interesting. His name was Roy. Freaking a cool guy, right? Been trading stocks for like 20 years plus, probably even longer. And he recommends all these books, and I'm like, dude, I have a book. And it's like really cool stuff, because he's talking about all the same things that we talk about on this YouTube channel, we talk about in the stock lecture series, and you see all the same principles put in place, and they're using all the same technical indicators, right? So you get a reinforcement of what you're doing, and then also you can strengthen your principles, learn about other software, a lot of older guys there, so maybe you can also understand that other perspective of whatever it is you're in. This is an entire different demographic maybe you weren't thinking about that could be interested in what it is you're doing. So maybe with investing, right, a lot of my content is geared towards guys that are starting out, right? Because like when you're starting out, when you're young, like that is the time to be investing. And learning and investing in yourself and your future with compound growth assets, and it's freaking awesome, right? Because now you've got this whole other subset of people where you're talking, the people in the room, they're paying $12,000 a month to participate in a newsletter research so they can make millions and millions of dollars in stock. And it's like a lot of people too with cryptocurrencies, right? I was trading cryptocurrencies, still trade cryptocurrencies, I freaking love it. And you've got guys in there that make like $5-10 million, and it's like now you just have this total new perspective on whatever it is you're doing, to the extent that you can better extrapolate, future performance, and then also what it is you're doing relative to its value in the marketplace. So understanding, at a more fundamental level, what it is that you're doing versus what, people who have been there, done that for the past 20, 30, 40 years know of what they're doing. And it's freaking awesome, right? Because, whatever field you're in doesn't have to be, investing, but say it's something, you can learn from these people that are so much more experienced than you, and then synthesize, right? Just listen to what it is they're saying. The guy I was sitting next to, he's trading, E-mini options contracts, and you can really understand at a fundamental level why people care so much about trading options versus potential capital illiquidity options, especially, these guys are actively managing index funds, right? So you get a new perspective where it's like, it's just not something I do the way I trade normal stocks, right? With like just inherently more volatility. You got like a 20% mover in a day. It just like doesn't make sense to trade an index that moves 1%. And you can share that viewpoint and that perspective and like how I trade 9 to noon stocks and using 9 to noon trading as a way to really compound, because these guys, right, they're trading stocks every single day. So it's really crazy to see them not have this like insight into the market of this is a 9 to noon stock. This is like strong technical analysis. There were some blazing chart patterns, and it was awesome because there was a bunch of stuff they knew, but then the other stuff they didn't know, that you get to help them too, right? You help people grow so that they can better understand their positions. We were looking at the S&P, right? And big red volume candle, just like we talk about in the book, in the video. I don't know if we talk about in the videos. I think we do. And using that as a way to find a bottom in a market alongside of a MACD. They were using MACD to find it, and synthesizing multiple indicators, setups, technical things like that, to the extent that all of a sudden, right, you've got 5 things telling you sell or buy, right? And you can grow yourself and help other people, which is freaking really fulfilling. A specific example with that, I pull up the Coca-Cola Bottling Co. consolidated example. They asked for stock examples. I'm like, dude, you gotta short Coke. It's at $260 right now. It's freaking crazy. And I'm like, guys, Coca-Cola, this stock is going to 125 bucks, something like that, or mid-hundred something, right? It's all based on technical analysis, head and shoulders. I did a whole video on Coke. But like, you can share this viewpoint with them, and a lot of guys, right, they didn't know what head and shoulders setup was, or a 2-period RSI, something we really go deep. I think it's like chapter 20 or 24, 25 in the book, and bringing that insight where all of a sudden you're learning a lot about, because they have so many freaking cool stocks. They were rocking through, I think I wrote down 30, 40, 50 tickers, and then there was like a full analysis, like 10 or 20, and you had guys talking about it. So like, you can, ton of investment ideas came out of it for sure, just tremendous value, because everyone comes together. You have 30 people in a room, 15 people talking a lot. Like, they all have different tickers in their head, and those all, some of them I've just never heard of. I didn't know, there was this company, and they're the company that makes the colon thing where you poop in a box and they send it to them and they see if you have cancer or colonoscopy. And I didn't know they were a public company. They're like, dude, this is a public company. AIG, right? I think that's what the ticker was, IAG. And like, I thought that was so freaking cool. I didn't even know about it, right? So you just get this whole new insight into investment perspectives and what is there to trade, just by going to a local meetup and taking outside, like that video where we talk about outside perspectives, and getting another viewpoint. It's like that, but on steroids, right? Because now you're there for 2 hours in a constructive seminar completely based on personal growth, or whatever niche you're in, right? So for me, like stock trading, you have everyone there specifically for stock trading, and it just turns out this insanely productive and collaborative mastermind group where everyone's growing together. And then also, built a couple of really deep relationships with, like for what you can do in an hour and a half. But told my story to a lot of people, like where I come from and how I've grown into the market over the past couple of years, especially with the book. And these guys, right, like they're telling me about how they're investing in their kids' college funds, how they're growing with that. And it's so freaking cool because you can see, like, this is my target demographic, at least for some, marketing purposes, so you can understand really where you're trying to grow and expand with your local business efforts. So it's so cool in that aspect, in expanding yourself and deepening yourself to the extent that, all of a sudden you just have this, newfound friends and people to relate to, right? Like, there are some people I met and I just can't wait to see them again because we were, just touching on a personal level because we cared about this one random, arbitrary thing in the middle, be it stocks, right? Because we both, care about that, it gives a whole new grounds to build a relationship since you already have something in common. So trying to really grow your sphere of influence and your social world just based off, similarities that you might already have with someone else is a freaking stellar strategy, right? Because, all of a sudden, you can jump right off into that, into, you know, what is it, your kids go to Chapel Hill, right? Like, that's freaking cool. And it's really great, especially if you're trying to develop social skills to implement in personal relationships, but also business growth and development. And I think that's a really important part of it, is just reiterating social skills and, you know, knowing when to shut up when there's 30 people in a room and you're just trying to sit there and listen and synthesize what they're saying, because there's so much valuable information if you just close your mouth and open your ears. And I think that's really the biggest lesson from today, is be open to opportunities, be it meetup.com, finding people to meet with, and then finding groups. And then at those new opportunities, first of all, right, just jump, right? Like, I had track today, and I was like, dude, I had to go to the freaking library. I got like 30 books. Oh my God, I have to read them all in the next 3 weeks. So expect some book review videos if I can find time before school. But it'll be super fun. And the point is, you just take it on an impulse, and you just invest the time, right? Like, I'm gonna go to bed late tonight. I'm not gonna wake up at 4 tomorrow. It was an investment, because that's when the freaking meeting is, right? Like, you've got to, you know, be flexible to an extent with your scheduling, so that when you have big things like that have been on the calendar for weeks, right? You're just like, yeah, that's happening. It's happening on this day at this time, and we're just gonna make it work. So just like making it work, and then just freaking doing it. And then after you do it, being able to look at yourself from a greater extent, like a higher viewpoint, like a third-person viewpoint, so that you can really see what you're doing in the moment, and then, you know, control yourself to the extent, like, there was a bunch of, you know, just as an example, setups and indicators and stuff, but it was like a lot of this stuff was flying over their head just because they hadn't read the book, they didn't watch maybe some of the content I put up on here. So it was a very interesting dynamic, because, you know, it's tough stuff, right? Like, what's a head and shoulders setup if you've never heard of that before? Or what's a lot of ABCD setups, all the good trading setups. And there were some guys in there that were just killing it, right? Like some futures contract traders I met, and they were like, yeah, we got to get out of futures and get into 90 new stocks. And I was like, I'm telling you, man, that's the strap, pre-market gainers. And they freaking kill it, man. They just kill it. And so being able to adapt to different social situations and growing your social intelligence and your flexibility, so that you can work better in group environments with collaboration, because that's really where the key is collaborating to work towards overarching business goals, whether the goal be, you know, trade the best stocks, grow your company earnings, revenue, whatever it is you want to do. These are skills that you can develop and streamline through personal growth, and, like, you know, just freaking going out there with people and making it happen. So I would highly recommend it. I hope that I have inspired a couple people to go to meetup.com and just freaking go to something that you like, and see how it goes. Comment below if it works well. I'd love to hear the stories. I think it's a freaking great opportunity. I'll see you guys later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.